Hi, I'm Natalie Tickle, Head of Membership at Heart of the City, and I'm joined by Rachel Wheeler, Social Impact Programme Manager at Marsh McLennan. I've asked Rachel to join me today for a quick chat about their Dragon Award-winning programme, Surviving to Thriving. But before joining Marsh McLennan, Rachel was a Membership Manager at Heart of the City, so we'll also be able to provide some great insights for our members on what makes an award-winning community programme. So thanks for joining us, Rachel. If you wouldn't mind just starting off by telling us a bit about the programme that won the Dragon Award for you.
Yeah, sure. And thank you for inviting me to come back. It's lovely to chat with you again. So Marsh McLennan won a Dragon Award back in April for our long-term partnership with British Red Cross. And the project was called Surviving to Thriving. So this project specifically focuses on young refugees and asylum seekers in Leeds and Birmingham between the ages of 15 to 25. And the whole project is around helping them to rebuild their lives. So often these young people, when they first arrive in the UK, are faced with in really challenging circumstances. So they find themselves in new communities without their families, they're separated. They often face difficulties in terms of learning new language. They have to navigate their way through really complex asylum systems, difficulties in finding new accommodation, places to live, accessing healthcare, and employability as well. So there's lots of kind of challenges in terms of how they get started in their new community and having that network and support to rely on. So we've been working with British Red Cross for 6 years, and they are one of the leading providers of refugee support in the UK. And they had piloted this programme for some time in London, and they had a real need to expand out into the regions and saw an opportunity with us as a long-term corporate partner to expand that. They identified a real need in Leeds and Birmingham. And for us as a business, we have 2 really large offices in those locations. So it was a sort of perfect opportunity to be able to take the pilot programme and make it into a much larger programme going forwards. So the Surviving to Thriving project is all around getting young people back on their feet after crisis. And we supported a group of roughly 200 young people over the course of 2 years, and providing them with like a dedicated caseworker, so to look at things like their rights and entitlements in the UK, to help connect them with other young people in similar circumstances, and that really critical mental health support, so to talk about the issues that they were facing, and to link up with us in terms of looking at employability support and leadership opportunities as well. So it's been a really rewarding programme to work on, and we are delighted to have been recognised.
Brilliant. And what would you say, so you've worked on lots of community programmes during your career, what would you say you were most proud about this particular programme, and why do you think it stood out as a Dragon Award winner?
Yeah, really good question. So I think for us and at Marsh McLennan, something that we really pride ourselves on is the colleague engagement side. So all of our partnerships, we ensure that they're colleague-led. And I think because we've had such a long-term relationship with the British Red Cross, to watch that sort of grow year on year has been really nice to see. And I think, again, what makes our programme quite special is all of the fundraising that our colleagues do goes directly back into the projects, and they have a say on which projects we support. So every year we would have previously put out a vote, and they would get to say, you've raised this amount of money, and which project would you like us to spend the funds on? And I think that really helps colleagues to think about the communities that they're working in and the places that they're living as well, and connect the dots. And I think this programme particularly, we've been funding refugee support since 2017 through a really nice, kind of really small organic opportunity called Wrapping for Refugees. So at Christmas time, we would have a shoebox, and colleagues would all get together and they would fill it with essential items and gifts, and they would each write a note to a refugee who would be obviously separated from their family at Christmas time. And I think that really helped to build awareness and get colleagues to think differently, you know, about people that are in different circumstances to themselves, and really help kind of build a case for why we wanted to fund this programme going forward. So it was something that grew quite nicely over time. And then in 2019, we had the opportunity to help fund this programme. So it's just been really nice to see that colleague engagement grow. And I think as a really complex organisation, we're enormous. We're 14,700 colleagues in the UK, which is big. And I think it's really important that we have a partnership like this that really has the opportunity to bring colleagues together. So it's one of the unique unique things that helps through social impact to you know, for that culture change and to connect people to something they might not normally have in their everyday working life.
Mm-hmm. Right. And what would you, I guess when you was at Heart of the City, you probably remember we used to always talk to our members about making sure that sort of their community programs and their community support was relevant to their business and the skills that they have as a business to ensure that they have the most impact possible. For this particular partnership, how would you say it's kind of relevant to what you do as a business or your skills, and has that led to you having a greater impact?
Yeah, definitely. So I think in terms of what Marsh McLennan do, so we're a global professional services firm and we specialise in the areas of risk, strategy and people. And I guess we, as a company, we pride ourselves on being there in the moments that matter for our clients. And so this partnership is really an extension of that. And our entire social impact strategy is really shaped around building resilience for communities through disaster preparedness and rebuilding of communities. So this, it feels like it's probably the best example that we have of a partnership that really aligns to what we do as a business and our social impact strategy as well. So for us as a company, with that expertise in disaster preparedness, we're pairing that with British Red Cross, who specialise in emergency response. And it's been a really sort of strong foundation having that alignment that's allowed us to kind of build on all these really specific projects. When we set up the partnership, and again, this is before my time, but it was set up in a way that had three sort of overarching pillars that would go throughout. So there would be looking at every kind of stage of disasters. So looking at how do you prepare for a disaster, how do you respond, and how do you recover? And this Surviving and Thriving project is all about response. So thinking about how do you get people back on their feet, really builds into that resilience theme. So it's going in and helping people at a crisis, and then obviously supporting them to go back into communities and to thrive, essentially. So it's been a really nice example of that as well.
Great. And again, I guess thinking back to your time as a membership manager and sort of the profile of our members being quite small businesses, do you have any tips for our members on sort of developing their own programs? Any tips on what makes a successful community program?
Yeah, definitely. So I think linked to what you were just saying, really taking the time before you set out on selecting a new partner to really think about what it is that you do as a business and where your skills and expertise lies. So really doing that internal process. And I know you've got some great tools to kind of help businesses identify what that sweet spot might be. And I think it can definitely feel very overwhelming. So I would encourage all of your members to kind of start small and think about building on that. So just what I've been talking about took us 6.5 years to achieve. And I think it's just knowing, you know, not to rush it and to know that things don't happen overnight. And it's actually nicer when things grow a bit more organically, as we were talking about. I think, again, another thing, as we've just launched a new partnership, and one of the things that we're doing a lot at the moment is just really taking time to get to know our new organisation, so having some really honest conversations and not being afraid to kind of ask the charity what they need, matching that with what we can deliver and trying to find that happy medium. Because I think partnerships can only work when both sides are really honest about what it is that they can deliver on. So definitely spending some time on that. I think another thing for us, again, that's worked really well is the colleague-led side of things. So obviously myself and the rest of our team as a social impact team are here, and this is our full-time role, but we also have a network of charity champions that help really drive the programme. And by ensuring that their voices are heard, they help us shape our activities. I think that's the best way to kind of drive engagement. So if you do have people in your business that are particularly passionate about this, I think it's great to get their input and bring them along on the journey with you as well. Mm-hmm. A couple of things. And I think, again, as a sort of reflection coming into a company where they've already got a really well-established relationship, I think opting for a longer-term relationship over moving away from the kind of charity of the year model. We still have elements of that where we invite our colleagues to vote on which charity partner we work with. But I think opting for longer term relationships. So in the case of British Red Cross, we originally were going to be working with them for 18 months and it ended up being 6.5 years. So I think really going for that long-term model, because that's the way that you can have, really impactful programs. If that's, what you want to achieve, it's definitely better than trying to switch partner every year.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Rachel. And then finally, what did it mean to Marshall McLennan to win a Dragon Award?
It was great. I mean, for us, we had just officially ended our partnership in December. So to be recognised in the April was just really like the icing on the cake, I think, after a long-term relationship. And I think the Dragon Awards in particular are so prestigious, and it was really great to get that recognition. And I think even going through the process of answering the questions, really linking back and thinking about not only the impact that we've had on these young people, but thinking about what it's meant for us as a business was a really useful process. Reflecting on things, this project helped us win some work in one of the regions where the project was. So thinking about the kind of business outcomes as well, thinking about the shift in culture, all of the kind of outcomes that sometimes you don't take the time to reflect on. So it was really useful for us, I think, as a team to go through that. And definitely I would encourage all of your businesses that have those amazing programs to apply. Definitely, I think even just coming along and attending the award ceremony and hearing, all of the other programs, it's so inspiring, and there's so many people doing so many great things on small budgets and really impactful programs. So yeah, it was a great thing to be part of.
Brilliant. Well done on your win again, and thank you for joining us, and stay in touch. We'll speak to you soon.
Definitely will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. Bye. Bye.